Thanks so much for tuning into the Chariots for Hope Under the Hood podcast. Our hope is that the conversation you're about to hear encourages you and inspires you in a real way. At Chariots for Hope, everything we do is fueled by one central truth: the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. The gospel is simple yet life-changing. Because of our sin, we were separated from God. But out of his great love for us, he sent his son Jesus to live the perfect life we never could, die on the cross in our place, and rise again so that we could have forgiveness and new life in him. That's the hope we cling to, and it's the reason that we exist as a nonprofit. With that being said, let's jump into the conversation.
Hello, I'm Jason Hurt with Chariots for Hope, and welcome to Under the Hood podcast. And it is my honor to be here today with one of my amazing friends, family members, brother, Russell Schill. Welcome to the show, Russell.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I can't wait. So I say this every time, but today I can't wait to go deep with you because you got an amazing story that has touched me. Your friendship over the 9 years that we've known each other has impacted me and strengthened me. So I can't wait. I'm going to get into it because there's a lot to unpack. But before we do, what I love about today is, and I kind of said it, is that you have been with us for I think it's almost 9 years.
Yes, sir.
Is when you got your car, when you
Yes.
went through our vehicle ownership program. 9 years. So, and not only have you been with us 9 years, but what's really special about that is that just until recently, and we're working on it, but just until recently, you've had your car for 9 years, the
Yes.
original one that you got through our program.
Yes, I have. I mean, try to keep it running, and I have been so far.
Yes,
until
you
now.
have. Man, you were on top of it. You maintained it, and so I really do think you win the prize. I don't think there's been anybody else in our program that have kept their car for almost 9 years. So, thank you, man. Thank you for taking ownership. Thank you for just keeping that thing on the road. And I know, man, it meant a lot to you. It
Yes.
helped you. We're going to get there. And so, before we do, I want to just go ahead and I want to talk about life before Chariots. We'll talk about the day that you got the original, the impact, before, after. But tell me about just you and growing up and what you went through.
All right, I'll give you a little bit. I'm kind of like, what I say, half of society, I guess. Grew up with a single mother, 5 kids in the home in a rough neighborhood off 25th and Decatur. Never had no positive influence around, so I kind of grew up making bad decisions. I got older, I was still in the bad decision making. I had a tragic experience happen with my family that I lost like 3 people in the period of a year or two. So, and then I had a kid and I started taking care of my daughter. She's my first one. And I was kind of cleaning my life up. It didn't work so well because I still wasn't ready to fully give in and understand the challenges of fatherhood, adulthood. So, I got into trouble one last time, I should say, because I haven't been in trouble since then. And I got out, and they gave me the chance to do the New Life Recovery Program at the Open Door Mission. So I did that, and I found out I could have my kids down there. So I took the proper steps as a single father, grabbing my 2 kids from the mother. At the time, I was the most capable one. I did the program with them down there, graduated. I was the only second male to graduate with their kids on the Lydia side of the...
So second male to graduate with their kids.
The program, yeah. There was
you
one
had full custody of the kids at Open Door?
I got it while I was at the Open Door Mission. I had to go through the steps. They said,
wow,
you can have your kids. These are the steps you got to take. We'll move you over here. So I did everything to get them. I got my kids. I graduated the program. That's when I met Jason and his wife. His wife was actually working on the Lydia side, and my sister was already a recipient of a vehicle through them, and she put me in contact, and I was speaking to his wife every day, and they kind of, I was telling her my story. She was like, man, we just started this ministry that donates cars and helps people in need, and I was like, I'm the perfect candidate for that because being down at the mission, you're just starting fresh, no home, no job, completing your addictions or trying to get control of your addictions and your old life to the past of you. So, and everyone knows when you start fresh, one of the biggest things you start fresh with is a vehicle, and that was one of the barriers that I had to overcome. So I completed the program. I graduated by the grace of God to the what other program was that? I can't think of it right off the bat, but.
Was it at the Open Door Mission?
No, I graduated the Open Door Mission,
Okay,
and you
then
had
you went-
two options. The Salvation Army paid a month's worth of my year's worth of my rent.
Wow.
So I had my rent paid. Now it's time for me to get a job and get a vehicle. So that's when I got in contact with Jason, and we kind of got a hold of each other. I came and started going to his like a
Bible
week,
studies,
Bible
weekly
studying with the
get-togethers,
kids.
yep.
He met my kids.
You embraced it like right out the gate.
Yeah,
Like,
because
because
like I said, I like my sister told me this was the first thing she told me. She's like, you tried everything else in life, try the God thing. So I was like, let me try something and give my life up to something I know that is a greater good to me. Which because everyone I have ever met who believes in God, who takes God first, they're kind, they're understanding, they're compassionate, and they know the love that someone needs to grow. And I was one of those people that needed it. Like Jason, like he said, our friendship over the last 9 years,
Wow.
he was like I told him the other day, you've been a real friend to me. I kind of get choked up, but he's been a good guy to me. So I did the Open Door Mission program. I got my place through the Salvation Army, and my next step was a vehicle. So they blessed me with a vehicle, and like I said, and that vehicle got me to work, got my license back.
Real quick, man, I'm getting choked up here, brother. So I remember those days back at the porch when you were coming before you got that vehicle. And so you've graduated the Open Door Mission. You've got people helping you find that first job, but you know that it's a struggle to get to employment, to find a job without transportation,
Yes,
right?
that's
And so
the biggest barrier.
you were really struggling with that. And you had people in your life. Did you have to, let me just ask you this, like what was the trigger point, before we get to that day, because that was a special day, I know, for me and for you. But what was the trigger point where you just said enough is enough? Like, I'm cleaning up, I'm done. Like, was it people? Was it programs? Was it a combination? Like when you finally, because man, you had a lot on your plate, and so you grew up in a very hard environment, hard background. You're battling addiction. You were in prison for a little bit, right?
I got out of prison, went to the Open Door Mission, and that's when I did the program.
Right. Now you're here. You got your kids because the kid's wife. I mean, you guys weren't married at the time, and so you both are struggling. You were the best fit at that time, so you've got the kids, and now you're trying to be a single dad, getting your life straight. Man, I have so much respect for you, and so you're doing that. You're working hard. I remember when you first came into our life, and man, it's not been easy, but you are a fighter. And I remember that's the first thing I saw when you came through the porch at Christ Community. Remember that? I just saw in your eyes that you were a fighter, man, and this is a guy that I wanted to get to know and lock arms with. And so my question is just what was it? Like, was it a series of things, or just when enough is enough and I'm not going to do that lifestyle anymore?
Well, one of the biggest things, like when I was at the Open Door Mission doing the program, they have you doing a lot of Bible studies and stuff like that, which is good. Like Jason always tells me, you got to dig into the Word and find your own answers. And my favorite saying is Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You just need to be still. And I used to fight against everybody, my help, against people. So I said, I'm tired of fighting. Let me have someone help fight my battles for me.
Wow.
And that was my changing point. And I was like, Lord, help me. Fight, get custody of my kids, fight for me to get a vehicle, fight for me to get a place, you know what I mean? And that kind of always resonated and touched with me. You know what I mean? I have someone higher for me that I know can fight and win a battle that he's done won multiple times.
Come
with
on,
me.
man.
It kind of chokes me up thinking about it, because that's, like you said, that was like, man, how am I going to do this? I can't do this on my own. And then, like I said, I got thankful. I had my sister that was helping me. Then you guys stepped in. I was like, man, it's just like, the people, if you give forth the effort, and the people see it around you that you're doing on the right things will work out. Like I said, you ain't got to fight alone. No battles, no struggles, really. You know what I mean? Right. You still struggle, but you have someone like a crutch, I should say, to lean on if you're feeling down. You need words of encouragement, someone to pick you up when you don't have a ride, until you get to those proper steps in life when you're able to do it for yourself.
Man, that's so good, man. That's so good, Russell. And so here we are. We're doing life before you get the car. You didn't know you were getting it.
No.
And so we're coming to that day. I don't even remember the business we were at, but we were surprising you. You didn't know it. And so now talk about that moment when you came out. That was one of the best reactions and celebrations I've been a part of.
Well, I remember
you were awesome.
you took me to breakfast that morning, and you was like, oh, I got to stop by the office to grab some paperwork. And we went in, I was like, oh, your office was off 120th and West Center Road at that time, I remember, or whatever. You had a little office.
Yep.
He's like, I got to stop and grab some paperwork. And he was like, oh, just look around the office. How do you like it? And he was like, oh, the paperwork's out back in my truck. I forgot it. We went through the back door. When I went out there, I was shocked.
You were shocked because we had probably about 30 or 40 people there
Yeah.
celebrating you.
Yeah.
And so was that an emotional moment for you? Were you just like, because at first I remember we always joke around here because we love it. You came out, I don't know if you remember, but you were like, well, you had this surprised look, man. You're like, oh my God, you got me real good.
Yeah,
You remember that?
I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting a normal day, just hanging out with you, just having a breakfast and just talking to you and going back home. And then next thing you know, I'm driving home in a vehicle that I feel secure in now. In my whole life, ever since that, I remember I was like, I got a car now. Now I get to see my life fast forwarding of what I can do with a vehicle.
Wow.
Get my kids to school. Now, if they want to start a sport, I'm allowed to take them to a sport, to their doctor's appointments, to get a job that I couldn't get before that was out of reach. I can get it now since I have a reliable source of transportation there.
Because it literally changed overnight
Yeah,
for you
yeah.
since you had that car. Because you're a single dad, you're up, you're moving forward, right? You're
Borrowing
battling.
vehicles,
Right.
you know what I mean, from my sister or other family members that just let me, oh, you can borrow it for a week or a couple days, you know what I mean, and people get tired of that because it is their vehicle. And once that, like I said, it changed dramatically. Like I said, I felt security I had is like a security thing, like, man, I got a car, I can do this now, you know what I mean? Because like you said, the biggest obstacle someone has, they can be clean, they can have a house, they can have support, but if they don't have their own mode of transportation, it kind of still drains them and lacks them, like, man, I can't do this, oh, I got to wait on this person, you know what I mean? So having a vehicle, like, it is a game changer for anybody. It's like it does a total 360 the moment you step into it.
Come on, man. I tell you, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, you're dead on. And you saw that day when you came out, you saw in your eyes the burden that was just released. Because, you know, again, you have these kiddos and they're beautiful and you got to get them around. And so talk a little bit about that, you know, that you're now having this vehicle and what does life look like after the car moving forward? Because I think you even got a job that required you to have a car, right?
Yeah, well, I used to do construction work, and then I hurt my shoulders, so I was like, man, I can't do physical work no more. What am I going to do? And my sister's a guardian of a adult with a disability, and I'm a people type of person, so I was told, hey, why don't you try to get into being a DSP, is a district support professional, and that's working with adults with disabilities. And so but before that, let me go back. Before I started working adults with disabilities, my son was born with multiple disabilities, cerebral palsy, tethered spine. He has a shunt. So I had him too, and I was like, man, I got a son with a disability. I got a disability in myself, a physical one. So how am I gonna take care of my kid, provide as a job too? And I'm a people person, so that's when my sister was a guardian of somebody that she takes care of, and he was in a day center. So I went and applied there, and I just fell in love working with people, you know what I mean? And like I said, I don't see it as like a job. I see it like hanging out with these guys every day, because every day my job requires me of taking multiple clients, 1 to 2 in my vehicle, and taking them to doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, just out about in the town and stuff like that. And Jason's done met some of my clients over the years. I done brought them to Vallis. I brought them to the Christmas lights here. So you see that the change in just me having the vehicle to bring the guys to the events was a big deal for them too.
I'm glad you said that, because I can tell you this. I remember the first time that you came through to an event. I don't remember what event it was, but you came to an event with one of your clients with a disability. And Russell, for me, it was an emotional night because you were amazing. Like, this is one of your callings, is you dealing and how you deal with these individuals and love on them, accept them for who they are, your patience. I haven't seen it. I mean, it was amazing. Like, you are gifted in this area. So well done. And you're also an amazing dad. Like, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about our events and community and how important it is not to isolate yourself. Another thing that I just have mad respect for you is that even during days and times and seasons where it's just hard and it's easy to isolate, you have been part not only of our family in our ministry through the vehicle ownership program, but through our community events.
Yes.
You always show up with your kiddos. I mean, we're family.
Yeah.
And so
9
talk
years.
about what it's like. Has that helped just having a community that loves you? I mean, talk a little bit about that.
Well, the kids like it more than anything. When I'm telling them we're going to a Chariots event, they're just excited. Even just coming here, doing a Bible study here at the depot here is a big thing for them. When we do Christmas lights, we do vows, we do outside like dodgeball, was it kickball, we do basketball for them. It just brings them joy too, because they just like you guys, period. They like you, Jason. They like Michelle. They like all the other kids here. And I like to come here when I see everyone over the years, and I tell them, oh, they always ask me, when did you get your vehicle? I got mine 5-6 years ago. I'll be telling them, like, you still coming? I said, it's a great place to hang out. It's, every month they try to do something, or twice a month if they can, you know what I mean? And it's just a gathering of, like you said, of people to love on people,
right,
to share everything you guys do here with everyone. Like I said, it keeps me like, I don't like, it's hard to say, like it brings me like, what's that word I'm looking for? Like a joy that month I get something to do with a group of people that I know are they don't judge me when I come. They don't care about my past. They just want to see me grow in my future, who I am and how I'm growing. Oh, how your kids been? Everyone asks how the kids been, how you been doing, how's your work been? Because when you come to the depot, people share stories all the time, and that's what it's all about, is people growing and sharing. So if I can share a story, like you even said, me keeping my vehicle for 9 years, that's a telling the story, sharing to someone, and people are amazed by that, because I tell you what, I cherish that vehicle, you know what I mean? Like
yes,
you said,
you do.
I took care of it. I love my kids, and even bringing them here and doing stuff like that with them, and having you guys as a community, like a different family, you know what I mean? You guys are like an extended family, and it brings joy. My kids love coming down here. It brings me, like I said, joy, a peace of mind. It's a nice place to come and relax, let the steam off, I should say, for what I've been going through. And especially, you always pull me to the side, talk to me, or I have your personal number, so that helps me out a lot. You always been there too. Like I said, as the extended family, Chariots have.
Amen, brother.
Yes.
Come on. So the question I want to know, and I want my recipients to know this. You've had the car for 9 years, and I know finally it went out, and we're trying to work hard to go ahead and kind of find another one. But this is exactly what this program's about. It's the entry level. You keep it for several years, and then you go ahead and get into our second wheel program. But how in the world have you been able to maintain this car so long? Because these are older cars with high miles.
Yeah.
We tell our folks a couple years, it's just a jump start, and here you are 8 or 9.
Well, I got it. It's a 2008. I'm gonna tell you, it's a 2008 Hyundai Entourage. I got it at 85,000 original miles from a family, and it got 190 on it now. And to keep it going is me learning how to do small mechanic work myself when necessary, because Chariots is pretty busy because they're helping so many people out. But over the years, I have brought it to Chariots. They have done wheel bearings for me, struts when I couldn't. You know what I mean? Oxygen, you name it, they have done it for me when I didn't have the time, or I was my arm was hurting me too much, because sometimes that's what lacks me from doing stuff like that. But they helped me keep it running, and me just figuring it out. And I know I had to keep it running to keep my household going, to keep me going, to keep my job going. And at the end of the day, like they say, the main thing on a vehicle is the maintenance. You keep the maintenance up on it, it will run you. That's why you see vehicles out here still running. People wonder how they last so long. You hear something wrong with it, fix it, or try to fix it, or get it in.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
It.
Well, and that's the thing. Not everybody is like you are somewhat mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
And so that definitely helps. And I know a lot of our folks that come through, really most of our recipients that come through, not because of that's what we're looking for, but they're just single moms. You were a single dad. But, obviously you had some of that background. They don't. But I think a key, too, that I saw from my perspective was that you were a hard worker. You had the job. You were capitalizing on it. You were always working. You always had some money aside that if something did come up, you can go get the parts and whatnot. Now, you're saving a lot on labor. But I think it's important, just talk to that a little bit. I mean, it's important. And again, I mean, we're living paycheck to paycheck. I get that. But isn't it important to make sure that you just kind of think ahead of stuff that's going to come up and put money aside?
Yep. I always thought in my mind, like, always have at least part money in case something happens. If I can, like, even with Chariots, like, they help me out. They'll put the parts in if I can get the parts, or if I can get the parts, I'll do it myself. But yeah, it's about a saving, always a vehicle savings you got to have, because you never know when you could start your vehicle up and a check engine light comes on and you got a misfire. It's a coil pack, and you got to have the money for it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And it's always good to know a backyard mechanic too.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you saying that your services are for sale? Or?
I don't know how long it'll take me to get to something, but I get it done if I have to. That's how I kept my vehicle running, because, like I said, little things I said in, like, even I ain't gonna lie, like a YouTube video, like, man, I think I can do this, to just give myself another 3 months running on my vehicle. So that's what I did. I kept myself running 3 months, and then it went on to a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And some years I got lucky. I didn't have to replace nothing in it.
Right.
Some years it didn't have a problem, or some years I would have to do a ball joint, control arms or something like that. But yeah, it's about always having at least something, not even $100, because each part probably runs you 60 to 100. If you could just buy that one part for that time and say, hey, I got the part, can you? And most of the times, I'm going to tell everyone, if you have the part money and you know someone, they're going to help you put it on to try to keep you going. Yeah, that's why I notice with people, even if you can't really give them nothing, but as long as you have your part, and they're like, I'm going to help you put your part on your car. Because I know people that come to me, like my stepchildren, you know what I mean? They only have part money, and I'm like, okay, I can help you if you want to help me put it on. So help me put it on with them.
That's good. What would you say, Russell? So, we have this ministry. It is a ministry. It's a nonprofit. And so what would you say to the supporters and the donors, right? Because we can't do this without the people that believe in this mission and support it financially and through their time and talents. What would you say to them, to these donors, as far as why these blessings and why the program that you went through is so important? What would you say to them?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to all the donors out there. Like Jason said, it's not possible without the love people have in their heart, that they want to see other people succeed and grow and lift the community up as one, because that's what we're all about, is helping those in need, you know what I mean? And this, like I said, without the way it works, I couldn't envision my life 9 years ago if I didn't get my vehicle, the drastic turn it would have took if I would have had all my ducks lined up, besides the car didn't fall in line. And then I probably wouldn't have grown to the spot I'm in now and have the position of working with the people I work with now. So it is all a blessing, from the donors to Jason starting this, to having the vision, to reaching out to people and just keep loving on them. Like I said, it's all about giving back and loving on people, and it grows and it spreads, you know what I mean? Because who don't like to lift the next person up, to see them smile, to let them know that anything you do is a big thing to somebody, you know what I mean?
Man, that's so good, Russell. You are a success story. Last question. We're going to wind it down here, brother, because I could talk to you all day. What would you say to the Russell back then that was struggling in jail, trying to figure stuff out? What would you say to the Russell 15, 20 years ago, that person that was in your shoes? What would you tell them now?
If I would have just tried the God thing, like I said, that just sticks in my head. My sister told me, and ever since I tried being a believer in faith and having faith and not fighting my battles alone, is just the love that you don't think that will come to you from being faithful to your creator, the one who has a vision for you. Like I never thought about it in my brain, or never back then was thought about it. He does have a plan. He does have a vision for you. You just got to work with him. I mean, nothing's magically handed to you. There is a struggle. There is a work process to everything, but it's just keeping your faith and knowing you ain't got to fight your battles alone. There's a higher power willing to help you, and he does send people out there to help you in your time of need. It's just if you hear it, or you see it the way he wants you to see it, because you can miss your blessings right in front of you. And like I was talking to you the other day, sometimes I don't hear the answers I want to hear, and your best thing is, you told me, is get in the Word. You know what I mean? Your answers will come from Him. You know what I mean? And,
That's right.
and I just, like I said, thank you to all you donors out there, because, like I said, the person who gave my van, if you guys ever hear this, you guys made a big difference. It lasted me 9 years, and I appreciate you guys. You changed my life dramatically from that day on.
Come on, brother. Wow. You know what? I love you. And there's a lot of people that come through these programs that we have, and they do get blessed by this ministry, and we're grateful for that. And then there's some that come through that get blessed, but that end up blessing us 10 times more, and you're one of them. So
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank
love
you
brother.
guys. And my brother, I tell you that, he's always been good to me, like I said. And even with like Jason, when he just first met me, I want to say I just started off as a regular recipient, but it's me reaching out to him and showing him that I want to grow in certain ways, and I want to understand what my future holds for me. And he's still helping me. Like I don't have no positive male friends still really too much, and Jason is one of my positive male friends I do call on in a time of need or just ask a question. And you know what I mean, he's always been there to have a lunch with me, to talk with me, or come to an event. You know what I mean? It does make a difference when you just keep on loving on somebody, not giving up. I appreciate that from you.
Right back at you, brother. Love you, my man. Thanks for joining us today. This was a true honor and blessing.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Chariots for Hope Under the Hood podcast. We hope you were encouraged and inspired by the conversation. Our mission at Chariots for Hope is to demonstrate God's love by removing transportation barriers. You can join us in that mission by following us on social media, donating financially, or even donating a used vehicle to help advance someone through one of our programs. To learn more or get involved, visit us at chariotsforhope.org. Thanks so much again for listening, and God bless you.